The Ethiopian Bible is one of the most fascinating and debated books in history. Ethiopia itself is a land full of unexplained mysteries, but that's a tale for another time. Known for its ancient civilization, Ethiopia is the only African country that was never colonized. This unique history allows Ethiopians to trace their lineage back to Ham, one of Noah's sons, a connection even acknowledged by Jewish traditions. However, our focus here is on Ethiopia's incredible possession. Ethiopia holds some of the oldest Bible scrolls in existence, predating even the famous King James Version. While the King James Bible contains 66 books, the Ethiopic Bible includes 88, featuring works not found in other Christian traditions. These scrolls encompass the Old Testament, New Testament, and previously unseen texts. Remarkably, Ethiopia had these scrolls long before Christianity officially arrived in the 4th century, indicating that Christianity was not introduced to them like in many other nations. It was already present. Since the 4th century, Ethiopia has been a Christian nation. Egyptian traveler, monk, and historian Cosmas Indicopleistes noted in the mid-6th century that Ethiopia was a Christian country. He observed how Ethiopian rulers welcomed numerous Christian refugees fleeing persecution from other kingdoms and empires hostile to Christianity. Certain Ethiopian tribes have been worshipping the Christian God for over 3,500 years. Contrary to common belief, the oldest organized Christian body in the world is not the Catholic Church, but the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, known locally as Tewahedo. Ethiopia also possesses one of the earliest illustrated Christian books, part of the Gospels written in Ge'ez, an ancient Ethiopian language. This remarkable manuscript was discovered in 2010 in a monastery atop a mountain in Ethiopia. According to the Kebra Nagast, a sacred Ethiopian text, the biblical Queen of Sheba visited King Solomon in Jerusalem in the 10th century BC to seek his wisdom. The Bible mentions this visit, but omits an intriguing detail. They had a son named Menelik. Queen Sheba returned to Ethiopia with Menelik, who became its first emperor. In 2012, genetic studies of many Ethiopians revealed evidence supporting the story of Sheba's journey and her son's birth. These findings suggest that people from Egypt, Israel, or Syria intermingled with Ethiopians around 3,000 years ago, corroborating the ancient tale. Despite these significant credentials, the Ethiopian Bible is often overlooked and not included in the canon of holy books. Many people, even those of the same faith, are unaware of its existence. This raises an important question. Why has the Ethiopian Bible been so disregarded and hidden? Why did they ban the Ethiopian Bible? To understand this, let's take a brief history lesson. The Bible as we know it today wasn't always the same. There were many versions of different parts of the Bible and various interpretations of its messages. Originally, the Bible texts were written in Hebrew before being translated into other languages. The first major translation was by Saint Jerome, who translated the Bible from Hebrew to Latin around the year 400. This translation, known as the Vulgate, became the principal Latin version of the Bible. It included 27 books called the New Testament and 39 books called the Old Testament, originally known as the Hebrew Bible. In the 1st century, numerous books were written about Jesus' life and teachings. However, many of these were not accurate and were akin to fan fiction, leading the public to believe these false accounts. Without modern means of fact-checking, these misleading books spread widely, causing confusion. Early Christian leaders were concerned about this and convened at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD and the First Council of Constantinople in 381 AD to determine which books should be included in the New Testament. They decided that a book must have been written by one of Jesus' followers or someone who had witnessed his teachings, and it had to align with the rest of the Bible. The most significant change to the Bible occurred during the reign of King James VI. Despite the Vulgate being around for about 500 years, there were still many different versions of the Bible in circulation, which worried the king. He wanted a unified Bible to settle religious differences and reinforce his authority. Several priests also suggested that some existing translations were incorrect. To address this, King James commissioned 47 experts to review all the different translations. They were divided into 6 groups and worked independently for 7 years, following strict rules to avoid bias. Using various tools, they aimed to create a Bible true to the original languages. When the experts' work was reviewed and found to be consistent despite their separation, it was approved, and the King James Bible was published in 1611. Thanks to advancements in printing, this version became widely accessible. However, both the King James Bible and the original Vulgate excluded some books that the Ethiopian Bible still retains. So, why was the Ethiopian Bible rejected? The main reason is that it includes additional books known as Pseudepigrapha, which are falsely attributed works. These texts claim to be written by historical figures but are not, similar to fan fiction. This discrepancy led to the exclusion of the Ethiopian Bible from the canon accepted by most Christians today. Pseudepigrapha are considered non-canonical by most Christian traditions. The books that were removed or rejected were recognized by scribes and theologians as not divinely inspired. Many of these texts, written before and after Jesus, had questionable intentions, leading to their exclusion. Imagine if someone today published a book claiming Kobe Bryant wasn't a great athlete. Such a book would fail, and the author would face backlash because we know that's untrue. However, in 500 years, people might start to believe it if the book remained. To prevent such misinformation, these texts were rejected. The Ethiopian Bible has 2 canons, the broader and the narrower canon. But first, what is a canon? A canon is a generally accepted law, rule, or principle by which something is judged. For instance, it's canon for a phone to have 1 screen, or a country to have 1 president. The broader and more famous Ethiopian canon has 81 books, including Enoch, Jubilees, the 3 books of Meqabyan, Epistle to Clement, and 4 books of Kiddusin. The narrower canon was overseen by Emperor Haile Selassie, who declared it the official and complete version of the Ethiopian Bible. This version has 72 books, excluding some found in the broader canon. The broader canon hasn't been reprinted since the early 20th century, adding to the controversies and differences in acceptance. One reason for the Ethiopian Bible's obscurity is its language, Ge'ez, making it difficult for non-speakers to access. The lack of translations and unique practices have also contributed to its relative obscurity outside Ethiopia. Another reason is political. In early Christianity, the Roman emperor prioritized power and politics over spiritual growth, excluding scrolls that didn't fit their preferred narrative. The Bishop of Rome even ordered the destruction of non-canonical scrolls, but some priests hid them, leading to the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 1940s. Recently, interest in the Ethiopian Bible has grown, with efforts to translate it and conduct academic studies. It's remarkable that this Bible has survived, especially after attacks by Muslims and Italy, and a fire in the 1930s that burned the church where it was kept, adding to its mystery. What do you think about the Ethiopian Bible? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.